And we're back live here in the opulent studios of WLCN 96.3 of Viewpoint, your program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. And we're going to drop the politicians this morning, thank goodness. Just personalities and perspectives. The perspective. Yes, Mrs. Busby's holding up her hand. She has to leave the room.
Chris, continue with the thought that you began just before we went public here again. We were talking about people going from here to Champaign for master's degrees, or from Champaign to Lincoln for master's degrees, and sometimes in the winter it's a little dicey. And then you have a new program. It started with S, Skype.
Oh, you were asking.
You were talking. Technology ought to be right up your alley.
We were talking about if a student can't get there in case of weather. Jessica was telling how if the faculty member makes a decision that the weather is too prohibitive, they might put the coursework online that week. And in some instances, it's just a particular student who has something coming up that doesn't allow for it. If the professor makes it available, there's this new technology, and I'm old enough to say that it's new and I don't understand it, called Skyping. But those of you who know what Skype is, there is also the opportunity where you can connect via the internet on this Skype technology and actually attend class without actually being there.
You know, that's one thing I haven't gotten into on my little confuser is the Skyping. I figure.
But did you know the word?
Oh, yes.
Well, that's good.
I'm very much, and my grandchildren are going to help me out on that. There's so much out there on that computer world.
A very unique opportunity we had this year, specifically with the Masters in TESOL, or Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. We had a student from Japan, a student from Poland, a student, across the United States, and we actually were able to as part of the admissions process, we want to talk with them over the phone, minimally, or meet them in person, obviously, in Poland or Japan, you can't do that. So what we had the opportunity to do is meet them on Skype, and so they're sitting in their pajamas getting ready to go to bed. We're coming into work at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning and scheduling this interview, and actually got to correspond with some students that we would have never otherwise seen, because they're online students, and so we may have seen a photo or an occasional phone conversation, but we got to interact with them via Skype, and it's all a free charge, and just from across the world. It was really, really neat to have that opportunity. So
how amazing!
Can you imagine the impact that this cyber world has had on adults looking for further education or looking for work? My young grandson Jerry, after the economic downturn with Union Pacific, found his job on the internet by being patient and just noodling around. And he found a very good job with a toxic waste disposal firm. Without the advent of internet, those things wouldn't have happened. It's amazing. We're going to take a quick break here in a couple of minutes, about 8:45, and then we're going to make a phone call and bring on a Lincoln College staff member because they're directly involved with National Museum Day here on 9/25, which is, I believe, just around the corner or past.
No. It'll be Saturday.
Well, I just want to check you and see if you're up.
Saturday, see if I was
you've been out of touch for a week.
Tracking, yeah, a little vacation throws you off.
Jessica, how did you get started at Lincoln Christian University?
As a student, I'm assuming you're asking.
And where did you come from before you became a student?
My husband and I actually were from Paxton. He's originally from Paxton, Illinois. I grew up in Gibson City, Illinois, but we lived in Paxton, and then actually via the internet we knew that we wanted to, and that was in 2003. We both were working full-time and decided we wanted to go back to school to pursue ministry in some capacity. At the time, we didn't know what that meant. And today he's a full-time firefighter, and I have the opportunity to work at the university, and so we're both serving people just in different capacities.
Yes.
So but we knew nothing of Lincoln, just living 75 miles from Lincoln. We knew nothing of it, and so we started looking for Christian colleges, and our only agreement was that I wanted a school that I could pursue teaching in the public schools, and Lincoln had that opportunity and still has that opportunity where students can come to Lincoln for 3 years, and then they transfer to a consortium school where they can complete their teaching certification, and they have that opportunity then to teach in the public schools. And so that was our original plan, was to find a school that would allow me to do that and allow him to pursue ministry. And so here we are.
But now you're not
several years
teaching in
later.
the public school.
No, I changed my major when I found out that I had an opportunity to serve Lincoln full time, and I finished with a bachelor's degree and just in Christian ministry is what they called it. And then I also am in the final stages of finishing some pages in my thesis for my master's degree in Christian education. So I came full circle, and actually now have the opportunity to teach alongside working full-time at Lincoln. I have the opportunity to teach in our adult program as well.
Boy, you really got the best of both worlds.
I do. I get to recruit the students and I get to teach them, so it's a really great opportunity.
That's marvelous.
Yeah.
Again, preparation as a result of first you had a goal.
Yes.
And you found a place to fulfill that goal. And now you really kind of set yourself up.
Yeah, I had no idea this is the capacity we would be in 7 years later. It's just been a little over 7 years, but that was the you're right. That was the end goal. I just didn't know it at the time. So.
And coincidentally, that's how I met Chris Thomas, because her husband was a principal at the Atlanta school when my grandchildren were in the Atlanta grade school system, and that was a good plus. So.